Staying organized. What does that even mean? For me, organization means less overwhelm. And overwhelm is made up of a lack of clarity and high stress. So no overwhelm would be a lot of clarity with very little stress. Peace of mind. Essentially for me, staying organized means handling my jobs and my personal life in harmony and having less things to worry about and more of my life working for me than me having to work for my life. So today in this video, I want to give you my personal tactics that I use to stay organized while I work 2 full-time jobs and I still try to have a personal life, and I try my best to live a life that is aligned with who I am and what I want to offer to the world. So if that is something that interests you, stay until the end of the video. So tip number 1 is actually something that I have never heard anybody else on the internet talk about, and it is having WhatsApp group chats with yourself. So back when I started using WhatsApp, when I was a teen, I realized that once you have a group chat and then everybody in the group chat leaves and it's only you in the group chat, then you can still send messages and photos and links and media into that group chat and it still saves it. So I started using a group chat that someone, like a group of friends or something, we use it for a school project and then we just left it there. And I started using this as my personal WhatsApp pocket group chat. So essentially what I mean by that is that we have our phones in our pockets all day, and it's easy to just take your phone and text yourself on WhatsApp something that you may want to save or take a picture or send yourself a link that somebody else sent you in some other group. So the reason why this works so well is because WhatsApp is also a computer application. So you can have it on your phone and you can also have it on your computer. And that's actually the first reason why I started using WhatsApp in this way. It was because you can have your WhatsApp files on your phone and then send yourself stuff and transfer it into the computer. So that was the easiest way that I found to transfer things between my computer and my phone. But now I just use it for organization, and I still use it very much to transfer myself files in between. So the way that I have stayed organized, because once I started using WhatsApp Pocket group chat to do this, a lot of files started getting mixed. So now I have around 5 to 6 maybe WhatsApp group chats with myself. So one of them is for my personal life. Another one is for my work notes, for my personal work notes. Another one is for my full-time job work notes. Another one is for my runs and for my physical activity, because I am training for a marathon right now. So if you want to see me complete that in October, stay tuned. And a couple others are with my partner to just keep notes about what we want to do, our groceries, whatever movies we want to watch together. Whenever I see a really funny meme on YouTube but I don't want to send it to our main chat, just the 2 of us, then we have what we call a folder chat. So that's where we send each other all these little items that we need to kind of keep noted between each other. So yeah, my first tip would be having WhatsApp groups with yourself and separate them between categories of maybe your full-time job, maybe just your personal life, and maybe another journal pocket group or whatever. I journal, I text myself, I voice note myself, and that is also how I record my thoughts and how I keep going back to what I was thinking earlier. So this goes tied to my tip number 2, which is try to stay organized as much as possible. So try to think about this and organize yourself the same way that you would organize your closet. So for example, you have all of your shoes together, all of your pants together, all of your socks together, and all of your jackets together. So the same goes for organizing different sorts of files or different topics. So find patterns. For example, in your full-time job, try to always have only one finance folder, right? But then inside this finance folder where you're saving all of your finance documents, you will also find patterns about like maybe reports that you're working on, or new grant applications that you're working on, or new purchase orders or new invoices from suppliers. So those are also other subfolders that you should take the time to organize your things into, so that, you know, a year and a half into your job, you're not having just one finance folder that has 55 items inside of it, and you can't find one invoice from this supplier that you have to check from last year or something like that. So as well as organizing my files, I organize my apps on my phone. I have them sorted by category, and this has also made it less easy for me to go into Instagram, Facebook, YouTube during the day. I'm obviously not saying that I don't do it, but I do it in a very reduced way, because also I work a lot, so I don't have that much time to be in social media. But I do make it harder for myself to do the things that I know that are not good for me, and make it easier for me to do the things that are good for me. So by organizing your files and your apps and reducing the clutter in your life, the goal is to reduce the overwhelm and making it as easy as possible to do the things that you want to do, and reduce resistance, reduce friction, and make it just easy to flow. By making workflows as easy and automatic as possible, this is how you will truly build habits. So if you're interested in seeing how I build my weekly routine, my daily routine, and my weekly reviews, stay tuned and subscribe so you get a notification when I upload the next video. Okay, so in item number 4, we have planning. Planning and just strategizing and thinking is actually a big part of how you can stay organized, but it's not something that you do automatically if you don't prompt yourself to sit down and plan. So part of planning is having a calendar in your virtual calendar or a physical calendar. I use my Google Calendar, which I could not live without, honestly. But planning does not only mean putting items into your Google Calendar and organizing your week, like I will talk more in another video, but it also just means reflecting back on how do you like your week right now, how do you want to change your habits, where do you want to go, or like what things you want to achieve, or what would that take. So you need to know what kind of investments you need to be making into yourself, and how your time is going to change, and how the time of your week is going to change according to your new goals. So as I was saying, planning also involves a lot of thinking, and for this I do a lot of what I call like processing time. So whenever I go out on a walk and I choose not to play music on purpose, because I want my brain to process the information that I've had to intake through the day, and now I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna let my brain think about my experiences, the conversations I've had, the content I've consumed, or whatever it is, and now I can just like let my brain think. Another way that you can do that is, for example, eat without watching anything, or just sit down, sip a cup of your favorite drink, coffee or tea by the window, just looking outside. Just let your brain be in silence, and you know, thoughts will start to come up and bubble up, and that's exactly what we want. So just notice what is important to you, what is not important to you, what are the things that are in your brain, like, and what thoughts do you like and what thoughts do you not want to have. So in that way, planning also goes back to seeing what are the desires and the new goals that you want to have, and how can you get there. And finally, my last point is interconnection. So as I was saying before, with the WhatsApp that you have on your computer as well as on your phone, the same goes for any kind of app that you use for organization or for planning. What you're looking for is an app that is versatile, that you can use on your phone as well as your computer, and that you can note down things maybe on a notepad and then put it into your laptop or into your iPad if you're lucky to have one. Whatever it is, seek for ways in which you can always go back to that information. So for example, I journal in my computer because I am very scared of losing my journal. Or also, one of the things that I didn't like about having a journal before was that whenever I would finish journaling, it has an end, so I don't want it to end, and I want to be able to save those files without them getting lost. So that's why I journal on my computer. So try to have as much interconnection as you can, and for that, saving things online is the best way to not to lose them, because you can have backups. You have the cloud. You can have your files up in the cloud in the diverse like OneDrive or Drive or Apple Cloud, iCloud, whatever it is. So whatever apps you choose or whatever format of note-taking you choose, for me the most important point is to be able to be interconnected with other ways of note-taking and versatile. So that is why I use my phone and my computer and my iPad to be able to do those things. So thank you so much for joining me today. I will make another video to go in depth into how I manage my weeks and how I plan my days so that I build habits that compound into the dream life that I want to have. If you are new around here, subscribe if you want to see more content from me, and I will see you in another video.